Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have my freelancing Q&A, but before we get started, I just wanted to mention that this video is in collaboration with Poshmark. If you're not familiar with Poshmark, it's basically like a consignment shop app. An app where you can buy and sell clothes, makeup, just a bunch of stuff. Basically, you can sell your closet, you can buy other people's closets. So I like using Poshmark to sell items that no longer suit me, serve me, fit me, whatever the case may be. Poshmark is a great app to make money really quickly and easily, or to buy things at a really good price, at a huge discount. So I just added a couple of items to my Poshmark account, and I'm going to continue to be adding items today, tomorrow, and this week. So I'm going to be adding more fashion items. I just have to set them up nicely and take pictures of them, but I did add a couple of items already, including these Nikes. So these are the Nike Rose Gold Huaraches. They're brand new. They're 6.5, have the box and everything. So I just added a couple of items, some makeup, those sneakers, and just some miscellaneous items, but I will be adding some fashion items. I really like that this app is easy to use. It's very user friendly. You just open up the app, boom, you set up your account, you tap in the middle, you hit sell, you take the pictures. I also like that they allow you to put more than one picture. So if you're selling a sneaker, for example, you want to take pictures of all the sides, the angles, the bottom, you know, you want to get all them detailed pictures in there. So I like that they require you to put the original price of the item and your listing price, just so people can compare like what deal they're getting. And also things like the size and the condition, if it's new, if it's not, and you know, you obviously want to put a description. So I feel like it's very user friendly on both ends, whether you're buying or you're selling or you're just window shopping. What doesn't serve you can serve someone else so much better. I also think it's really cool that you can sell like limited edition makeup. I really like that on Poshmark. People are just genuine and they're just trying to make space and clear their closet in a really cool, inspiring, and empowering way. So on the App Store, they have a really cool fact that I didn't know. 1 in every 50 American women have an open closet on Poshmark. A lot of people are using it, so you should totally join. If you do purchase any of the items that I have on my Poshmark right now, I will definitely add a personalized note as well as some free makeup goodies in there. So I hope you guys check out my closet. I will have a link down in the description bar. And yeah, check out my closet. Let me know what you think. And let me know if you have a Poshmark account. I would love to follow you on there. I think it's really cool also that it's like a community and you can like friend people and chat with people in the comments. They make it really easy to interact with other people. So really cool. Let me know if you have a Poshmark. Check out my Poshmark. So now let's go ahead and get started with the freelancing Q&A. I love collecting plaid shirts. I just noticed that I have on another red plaid shirt in the how to become a freelance makeup artist video. It's not the same red plaid shirt, but it's another red plaid shirt. So if you haven't watched that video, I highly suggest it, because although I was contemplating taking that video down because I just hate how I look in that video, I just feel like I was really in the moment and I was really heated and fired up about what I was talking about. It's a long one, it's 30 minutes, but I basically explained my whole journey as a freelance makeup artist. So if you're curious as to how I started, I answer a bunch of questions in that video. This video is going to be about the detailed questions that I didn't answer in that video. So if you want to know like the general overview, like how to become a freelance makeup artist, my tips, my tricks, how to get out there, how to put yourself out there, things like that, I mentioned all of that in the other video, so I'll leave that video listed down below. A lot of you guys were also asking to do a video on my kit, and I actually have a video on that as well. So that one's called What's in My Freelance Makeup Kit. I might do an updated one because I have changed a couple of different things up, but not much. Just like the foundations, I now carry like Estee Lauder and a couple of other things that I've kind of switched in and out. So if you want me to do like an updated freelance makeup kit, I can do that. Thumbs up this video if you want to see like a just getting started out makeup freelance kit where I can kind of just lay down like what are some good options if you're just starting out or if you're on a budget, things like that, like a makeup kit for beginners or someone who's just on a budget. I also have a freelance makeup artist must-haves where I talk about like tools that are really important. So make sure to watch those 3 other videos if you haven't already. So let's go ahead and get started with the questions. The first question is from GlitterChick21, and she asks, how do you figure out a client's foundation color? At first, it was really tricky for me because I didn't have the proper lighting. Now I carry lighting with me. So lighting is very important when figuring out a foundation for a client. I highly suggest natural lighting. So when you are doing someone's makeup, I super duper duper suggest sitting in front of a window, opening the door, just getting as much natural lighting as possible, because if you're in dim lighting, even if you feel like you're matching them because it looks like it matches, it most likely isn't when they walk outside. So if you have to like step outside and match their face, then that's what you have to do. Over time, you kind of just get used to your kit. So I primarily use Estee Lauder Double Wear. So I pretty much have memorized these shades for the most part. So the ones that I have in my kit, I pretty much now know the differences in shades, like which one is more olive, which one's more yellow. So I kind of have memorized that over time. So over time, you'll get used to your own foundations that you have in your kit, or the powders that you use, or just pretty much any complexion product. You're gonna get used to what you have and you're gonna memorize it over time. The best way for me to match someone is to test a foundation right along their jawline, on their neck, and also just like a stripe on their cheek. There are a lot of different factors that go into this. Now, if the client has a lot of redness, or has hyperpigmentation, or their face is darker than their neck, or their neck is lighter than their face, like there are so many different types of pigmentation things that can be going on. So it really just is case by case. I have clients who want to look lighter. I have clients who want to look darker. So it really just depends. Or they want to match their body, not their face. Or they want to match their face and not their body. So it really just depends. You have to communicate with your client. Obviously, you want to get it as close as possible. First, you want to establish where they are in the spectrum from light to dark. So if they're a medium complexion, you want to take out your medium colored foundations, and then you want to figure out their undertone. So whether they have a yellow undertone, a neutral undertone, or a pink undertone. Once you figure out your main clientele, so for example, if you have a lot of clients with olive undertones, you're going to want to go out and purchase foundations with olive undertones. So let's just say you put on a foundation and it's too light. Realize that that's okay and that the world is not over. You can always deepen the color, you can always darken it. You can either add another layer of foundation, like a light layer of a darker foundation. You can remove it, or you can just use a darker powder, or just really go ham with the bronzing. I feel like there's just so many different ways of manipulating a foundation. Or let's just say you go too dark, you can use a lot of highlighting and, you know, highlight over here and under the eye, and really just go extreme with the highlighting. So I feel like you can always manipulate any situation. So don't freak out if you pick the wrong color. Now, if it's the wrong undertone, my suggestion is to take it off and to do it again, because undertones can be very obvious. If you use a very pink foundation on someone who's very yellow, it's going to be very obvious. But if you use a yellow but it's just a pinch too dark or too light, you can always manipulate it. Artificial lights are cool and all, but the best way to get someone's match, the perfect match, is natural lighting. So have your client face the window, and so that the light is hitting them, and then you can really assess their color. And again, over time, you're gonna get used to it. And I know girls who work at MAC who know the colors like the back of their hand. They know every single shade memorized. That just comes with time and experience. You'll get used to what you have, what powders you have, what foundations you're using, and you'll get used to it. But just know that it's okay if you mess up. Colors can be mixed, colors can be manipulated. You can add things, you can take away things, and there's always makeup wipes. You can just remove it and start over if it's just really off. So I hope that helps. Next question is it important to have expensive makeup, or for prices to meet the products, or do you depot them? Yes and no. So that's a really great question. It's kind of like a tricky one, because inexpensive makeup doesn't mean bad makeup, and expensive makeup doesn't mean great makeup. I don't think your pricing should depend solely on what you're using. It can be a whole kit full of inexpensive makeup and it still adds up, and that's why I think as a makeup artist you should value yourself, because even if all of your products are, let's say, L'Oreal or Revlon, if you add up a full face of that, it's still gonna be pretty pricey, especially including tools and lashes and things like that. So your pricing should vary on skill, and I talked a little bit about that in my other video. When I used to post the details of the makeup, like on my client, I would post L'Oreal Pro Matte Infallible as the foundation, and some people would be confused, like, oh, how are you charging X amount but you're using L'Oreal foundation? The L'Oreal foundation looks better than my Chanel foundation, so price doesn't mean everything. It can be a $10 foundation that looks flawless. So I think you just have to find products that work for you, and that's pretty much it. I don't think your pricing should be solely based off of your kit, but obviously, if you're investing more into your kit, if you're adding a lot of expensive and luxe items into your kit, products that are really, really great and long-lasting and waterproof, and, you know, for like bridal makeup, you're adding a lot of money into the kit, different palettes, different foundations, and a lot of variety, then yes, I think your prices should go up not just because you're using expensive products, but because you're adding variety. So if a client asks for Makeup Forever foundation and you have that, you have invested in that for your kit, that kind of will justify your price because you have options for them. But there are inexpensive products that I use, and just because I'm using inexpensive products doesn't mean I'm gonna lower the price at that point. It's just that I think that product works well. So just find what products work for you. It's yes and no because it's skill and it's product. So if you're using a $1 eyeliner that is gonna smear off versus using a $15 eyeliner that's waterproof, obviously you're gonna pay the price and get the $15 one, but your prices have to be a little bit higher. So it's a little bit of yes and no. It's a tricky one. In the beginning I use mainly drugstore makeup. Now I mainly use products that can be found at Sephora, but for me it's a balance. You know, I still use my Milani Luminoso on my clients, and I'll use a drugstore mascara like the L'Oreal Telescopic Carbon Black, but for foundation I'll use maybe a high-end, and then for the blush I'll use a drugstore. So it's basically just finding products that work for you, but your prices should depend on the skill. And either way, whether you're using inexpensive or expensive, you're still investing into your kits. So you have to see that as an investment, and so your prices are going to be a reflection of that. So that's why the answer is yes and no. So the next question is, for freelancing, is it good to start off with cream contour kits for foundation when using on clients? Now, cream contour kits are meant to be used as cream contour kits. So the Anastasia cream contour kit cannot be used as foundation. I mean, I don't think so anyway, because the formulation is off. Now, if you get a foundation palette and you can use that as a cream contour, then you're really maximizing the palette. But I don't think it's the other way around. I don't think you can really use a cream contour palette for foundation, but I do think you can use a foundation palette for cream contouring and highlighting. For example, the RCMA foundation palette, it has a bunch of different colors. You can use them as foundation, you can use them to highlight, you can use them to contour. So something like that is definitely worth the investment. I wouldn't suggest using a cream contour kit that's meant for cream contouring all over the face because it's gonna be too waxy and too stiff. But you can use a foundation palette as a cream contour, and I definitely think that's a great way to start off because you're getting 3 products in one. You're getting a foundation, a contour, and a highlight in one palette, and you're getting a bunch of different shades. So it's definitely worth the investment, and you're only carrying one product as opposed to 800 products. So I definitely think it's a good idea to have a foundation palette in your kit, whether to replace foundations or to replace cream contour or to replace both. I definitely think it's a great investment. So the next question is, what should be in a basic kit as far as eyeshadow and different blush shades and lipstick shades? So I guess I kind of answered that in my what's in my freelance and also my makeup artist must-haves video. I think a makeup artist should always carry a variety of everything. So for lips, you want to carry nudes, reds, burgundies, all types of shades, but a lot of nudes because most people go for neutral shades on the lips. You want to bring liquid lipsticks because people want that really long lasting power, but you also want to bring glosses because some people like glosses. So you want to have a variety. I like to just bring everything with me, so that's why I think I should do an updated one and maybe do a little more in depth. Maybe in the next what's in my MAC travel bag video, I'll go a little more in depth as to why I'm bringing certain things. It's best to ask your client what they're looking for beforehand so you know what to bring with you so you don't overpack. But if you don't get the chance to do that, you just want to bring everything because you just never know what you're going to get. So you want to bring neutral palettes, a palette that has pops of color just in case. But it's always best to ask beforehand so that you know what to bring with you. If you're doing makeup in your house, then obviously you have everything there and you don't have to worry about that. Next question is, how do you sanitize shadows, brushes, cream foundation, concealer in between clients, and also what face primers are your favorite? So I have a spray that's from Beauty So Clean, and it's a sanitizing spray. So you go ahead and just spray the product, whether it's powder, cream, whatever it is, you can spray it and it just dries and that's it. Some people just use rubbing alcohol. The spray is pretty much rubbing alcohol, but it has a couple of other things in it. But you want to sanitize with alcohol, whether it's the Beauty So Clean or just regular rubbing alcohol in a spray bottle. You can go ahead and do that. Also, to spot clean your brushes, you can use the Cinema Secrets. It's a blue liquid instant brush cleaner, or the Sephora dry instant brush cleaner is really good. Something that's an instant brush cleaner is key, high key for in between clients. In the beginning, I realized that I didn't really have time to do the sanitizing in between clients, so I just purchased multiples of the same brush so that I can have, let's say, 4 of the same. So if I have 4 clients that day, I know that I have 4 Sigma E40 brushes. So I just like to have multiples of brushes that I really like so that I don't have to clean the brushes in between clients. But if you do have to, I recommend the Cinema Secrets Instant Brush Cleaner. Is it okay to charge an old friend for her bridal hair and makeup? We were classmates back in 2006. For now, I gave her 50% off, but in the future, how do I do it? So I guess it depends on how close you are to someone. For me, business is business, and I think you should really gauge it depending on how close you are to that person. So let's just say you charge $100 for bridal makeup for a bride. In that situation, the most I would discount it is like $20. So I would bring it down to $80. Or instead, you can charge her the regular price but not charge her transportation. Me personally, I don't really have too many like old friends who want makeup, so I'm not really in that situation. I've never really been put in that situation. I think you also have to gauge how important it is to make money for you, I guess. Like if it's your full-time gig or if it's not. If it's your full-time gig and every face counts, at that point, discounts really cannot be given because at the end of the day, you need to eat. And it also depends on, let's say it's a Sunday and you have no other clients for that day. So no one has inquired for that day, but then that old classmate is asking, you can go ahead and discount it a little bit. Maybe she'll have her plus some bridesmaids, so it's not just one person. You're gonna make money that day. So even if it's a discounted amount, it's still more than what you would have made if you didn't have that person. So I gauge it depending on how much other work you have. Are you taking off from work to do this? Are you taking off from something, another event, to do that makeup? So then you can really just gauge how much of a discount you can give. I guess it's kind of ruthless for me to say this, but someone who cares about you, or especially someone who knows you, should support you. I feel like if people can support celebrities that they don't know and people they don't know, then why shouldn't they be able to support you? So it really depends on situation. If that old friend is really struggling, or they just had like a quick, really fast wedding and they didn't really budget it and they really can't afford what your prices are, then yeah, give a discount. But a lot of people in this world are always going to be looking for discounts, are always going to be looking for ways in and ways out. So you just have to be careful with people like that. So you just have to really gauge it, trust your intuition, trust your gut. If you want to give that person a discount, just make sure they're not getting taken advantage of. So value yourself, number one. But yeah, a little discount here and there won't hurt nobody. My boyfriend's colleague, more like a boss, is getting married next year and I know she's gonna book me for her hair and makeup. Should I charge her? Help. Yes, you should definitely charge her. I just have one bridal package, and if a client asks for any kind of discounts, how do I react to that and how do I deal with it? This question might be silly, but I want to know what I should say. I don't want to be rude. So you definitely never want to be rude. I guess over time you're going to get a little more comfortable with just like straight answers. In the beginning, again, you're a little more flexible. So like I said, if you don't have any other gigs that day and they're asking for a discount, it's that or nothing at that point. So I guess that is always better than nothing. So it really depends on how much clientele you have. In the beginning, it's really hard to get a clientele going, so you kind of just have to take everything. I know someone who basically has a package where if you book the bride at the original full price, then all of the bridesmaids will be at a discounted price. So at that point, I think it really depends on how many people they're booking you for. So let's say it's plus 3 people, so a bride plus 3, then you can maybe give a little discount. If it's just 1 or 2 people, I don't think it's worth it for you to go all the way over there and bring your whole kit and do all of this work at a discounted price. I think if it's a really large party, then yes, go ahead and give a small discount. But other than that, you know, again, you don't want to get taken advantage of, and you don't want to be put in situations that you're going to be putting out more energy than what you're getting. You're going to put in more work than the reward. So you kind of have to gauge, you know, how hungry are you for it. I feel like it's taboo to talk about it, but at the end of the day, you got to ask yourself, like, how bad do you want the money? You know, it's, yes, it's a passion, but it's also your job. Since there is no set schedule with freelancing and you are your own boss, you really have to gauge, like, how much do you need to do in order to survive? Like, how much extra money do you need? Or are you just doing it to gain experience? Or are you doing this because you're trying to, you know, book a vacation by next month or pay your rent bill? You know, like, you really have to gauge your situation and how badly you need it or want it. So the next question is, do you have contracts, and if so, what do they cover? Do you ask clients for permission to take their picture and post it on Instagram, or do you have them sign a contract? So as far as contracts go, I don't have a contract for regular makeup application, but I do have clients sign a contract for any bridal makeup, or even like Sweet 16s that are large, you know, large parties. But a definite yes to bridal contracts. And in the contract, you basically just go over how many people you're going to be doing. If you're bringing someone else, how many people they're doing, timing, the cost of the bride, the cost of the bridesmaids, mother, things like that. So you want to have like a cost breakdown. You also want to ask politely in the contract to have all of the money rounded up into an envelope to be given to you at the end of the makeup application, because I've been in bridal situations where everyone's just handing money to me and I'm just like, it just gets really chaotic and you can miss out money, or, you know, just things could get crazy. So in the contract, really just price breakdown, total cost, transportation costs, timing, date, things like that, and you want to send that over via email. It's going to give you and the client a peace of mind. I just don't do contracts for regular makeup applications, but definitely for bridal. And as far as posting pictures on Instagram of my clients, I definitely ask before posting. If I am taking a picture of my client, they are aware that it's to be posted on my Instagram. If they're not comfortable with it, then I'll ask them if I could take the picture anyway, just for me, for my portfolio, or for, you know, just for me to have. Most of the times when I do post a client, I won't tag them just because I don't want people like harassing them or, I don't know, finding them or something. So lately I haven't been posting before and afters, but when I do post, I always ask for permission. In the past, I will be the first to admit that I didn't ask. Like, I would just post, and then like some clients would be like, hey, I hate that picture of myself, can you take it down, or I don't like how I look. So of course I would take it down if they don't like it, or for whatever reason they want me to remove it. But now I definitely always ask. I've even asked for permission and the client has said yes, and then I post it, and then they realize later on that it's causing drama for them, or they just don't like the picture, so they'll ask me to take it down, and of course I honor that. So you just want to be comfortable with communicating with your clients. So the next question is, do I charge for trials? And yes, I do. I charge for bridal trials, and in the beginning I kind of had a tough time with that. I didn't know how much to charge. Now I just charge the price of a regular makeup application, but they are getting mink lashes, which usually is an additional cost, but because it's a trial and they can potentially book me for their wedding, I'll charge them the regular price and add the mink lashes if they want mink lashes. So that's kind of like the discount, I guess, at that point. But yes, I definitely charge for wedding trials. Another question is, do I take deposits? And yes, I do take deposits. So the deposit is part of the total price. So let's just say you charge $100. I always suggest making a portion of that $100 a deposit. So let's just say you charge $100. I would say to make the deposit like $20, $30, $40, $50, whatever you want to make the deposit. This way you can lock that appointment down, because I know in the beginning I didn't take deposits and it was a huge mess because clients would cancel and then I had to say no to other people. So I was basically losing money, and just time is money. So deposits are definitely must. Now, if I have a client that emails me for like the day before, so like a last minute client, I don't enforce deposit at that point because it's like, it's last minute. So yeah, but if it's, you know, in advance, I definitely enforce deposits, and I do it through PayPal. I know a lot of people do Chase Quick Pay or Venmo. I just use PayPal. It works for me. And with the deposits, you definitely want to have a notebook or jot it down on your phone saying that that person paid the deposit. So this way when they pay you, you're not confused as to why it's a, you know, a lesser amount. So that's it for this video. If you want me to do a part 3 to this video, I definitely will. If you want me to do like a Snapchat Q&A regarding freelancing, then I definitely will. Let me know in the comments down below. I do have a pom-pom on my head, just if you were wondering. I highly suggest you guys check out the other videos that I have on freelancing. I'm definitely going to be continuing the freelancing series, so I'll do more client makeovers, and I have tons of ideas that I want to do on other people, like makeup on other people on YouTube. So I'll definitely continue to do that. I just wanted to get this video out because I know you guys were just so excited about the last video that it made me really excited, and I love that you guys found it helpful. It just really makes me so happy to know that you guys find like little old me helpful or inspiring even, because it's just so surreal, you know, honestly. Like this just makes me so happy, and that's why I feel like I kind of want to stop freelancing and just focus on my YouTube, because you guys are like my world. You guys make me so happy, and I love just sharing any little bits that I have. So I'm getting all emotional over her.